Hey everybody, welcome to the second of our mini ab series. Today I'm going to be showing you some exercises that you can do with your long band and your short band. With your long band, if you're going to be using one today, please find something that's anchored down, so you could use the side of your bed or the dining table. Mine's just attached to my little bracket here, so you want it at a lower point if you can, but I'll be showing you the options for each exercise if you don't have any resistance bands at home. I've also got a little hand weight here, and we have some slide options as well. Just use whatever equipment you have out of what I'm going to use today, but I'm going to be showing you an option for absolutely everything, so don't stress if you have nothing at home other than yourself. You'll still get a lot out of this session. All right, to start off, we're going to be going into some tabletop sit-ups. So to start this exercise, we're going to roll down onto our back, flattening it out on the floor, and we're lifting both legs up, stacking the knees directly above your hips here, and this is where we want to try and keep them the whole time. So if you are wanting to add some weight to this, you could add a dumbbell or a weight plate and sit it on the shins, and then you could maintain that same position through the lower back, pushing it down towards the floor. We're going to clasp the fingers together and place the hands behind your head. And now from here, we're lifting the opposite shoulder and reaching the opposite elbow to the knee, and then coming all the way back down towards the floor. So rising back up and then lowering back down. Exhale as you lift each time, and your legs are staying as still as you can. So this exercise is firing up through our obliques, through the front abdominals as well. We want to keep maintaining your imprinted spine for as long as you can. Your option for this one, if it's too much to maintain the tabletop position, you can just bring the legs back down to the floor, and you can do this one without the elevation. Good. Let's keep it going for 6 more. 4, 2, and 1. Okay, everyone dropping the feet down now. We're going to hug our knees in towards our chest, and let's just get a little bit of a rock happening. So lifting up through the tailbone. See if you can start lifting the shoulders a little bit as well, and then we're going to rock all the way up, all the way back, just warming up through the spine. So for the next exercise, we have our back abs. So we brushed over these in our last one. I'm hoping that you guys got a lot out of this one. So to begin the exercise, we're going to lift both legs back up to our tabletop position here. Now we want to make sure that we're not lifting and lowering like a rocking position. We're swiveling the hips and the chest along the floor. So imagine you're trying to close the gap from your rib cage to your hips on one side as you pull the hips up, and then you're re-squaring the body to wherever the hips are with the upper body, swiveling the chest along. So it swivels across and across. Your aim is to get a full circle here. Once you've done your full circle, you start using the other side, so your obliques on the opposite side, swiveling around to do a full circle again. Okay, and then we want to try and have this flowing through the whole time. Pretty effective, pretty quickly. Okay, so your option for this exercise, keep it going if you like, otherwise you can have a break while I talk you through this one. You can pull the knees in towards your chest a little bit closer, and this is going to help you to lift up. It'll take some of the load out of your abs, and it should help you to swivel a little bit more. You could also hold your knees. This will help to lever off if you're having trouble getting the movement. Now, if you want to progress this exercise, if the stacked position is too easy for you, you can push the legs a little further away and try and maintain that position the whole time. All right, so let's work with doing like another 2 circles each way. Let's do it. Swivel. Woo, these hurt. And last one. Well done. Okay, have a little breather. Next exercise we're going to be going through is our adductor sit-ups. So this exercise is going to be working through your inner thighs, so near your groin, up towards the inside of the legs and near the knees. And it's also going to be keeping our abdomen nice and activated, nice and warm. Alrighty, to start this exercise, we're going to be coming down onto the floor and we're going to lift your legs up to a fully extended position directly above the hips. Now, if you're struggling to get this position with the legs completely straight, you can just bend the knees, but we just want to make sure that your heels are in line with the hips here. Otherwise, it's going to be working the core really quickly if you're dropping the feet down away from you. So we want to try and keep them as straight as you can. If you need to, you could roll up your mat if you're using one, and this will help to elevate the hips just a little bit and take some of the mobility component out of the hamstrings. Otherwise, we're going to go hands behind your head from here. And as we drop the legs out towards the side, you're just going to make sure that they're not falling out. So you're controlling the legs out to your end range. As you take the legs out to the side, you're coming up with the chest into a sit-up, pushing the tailbone down towards the floor still. And then it's nice and slow as you draw the legs back in, lowering the head back down towards the floor. So we rise up and then control it back down. Rise up and control. Now your option, if you want to, you can start reaching the hands through the legs. So we reach through, and then you can come back to the center. And center. Making sure that both legs are dropping out at the same time, keeping our hips nice and square.
What are you saying? At the time of the place, baby, it's not right. It's not right, no.
And now, let's go 2 more times. On the second one, holding it out here. And now we're going to go little pulses with the chest, keeping the legs nice and still. So we lift up and up for 10, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Drawing it all the way in. And have a little breather here. You can either stay up in your frog or you can come up and reach forward from here. So the next exercise we're going to be working through is a push-up into a side plank. For this one, you have a couple of options. I'll show you the first option, which will be staying on the knees, and then I'll show you the progression to being on your toes. So we're going to start with your hands out in front of you, and we want them about shoulder width apart. And now with this one, we want to make sure we're not flaring the elbows out to the side, bringing the shoulders into internal rotation. So we want them to come on a backward diagonal. So you push the hips through, so we've got a nice straight line from the shoulders and the knees. Your scaling option for this one though is to push the hips back a little bit. Now we're going to lower down, keeping our nice neutral spine, and we rise up. And now from here we're going to pull one foot up towards the bottom just slightly to turn, twist and reach the top hand up into a side plank. And then we come all the way back down to the floor, square the knees back up, coming back into your push-up, and then other side. Lift the hands, and then come back down onto the knees. Now, if you're going to be doing a push-up on the toes, you just want to make sure you're only going to a range that you know you can push back up out of. So starting on the toes here, we're going to lower down, rise it up, we twist to one side, lift the hips up as high as you can, closing the gap from your rib cage to your hips on the bottom side, and then we come back down. Another option, you can do a knee push-up, rise up on the toes, and then twist. Okay, so whatever option suits you, I'm going to take this one here for my next couple of reps, where I lower down onto the knees for my push-up, rise back up after the end range, and then lift the knees off and single arm each time. Twist, and then come back down. Now, on your next ones, let's see if we can get a little pulse happening in the side plank. So we'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back. We're going to be finishing up with a little bit of side plank work later. And we'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come back down. One more on each side. Twisting up for 5, 4, shoulders down away from your ears, and back. Last one for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and center. Okay, pushing it back. Whew. So for the next exercise, if you have a pair of slides, go and grab them now. Otherwise, you could use socks on a hard surface like I am, plastic or paper plates on a smoother surface, or you could also use hand towels on a harder, smoother surface also. So the two exercises we're going to be working through is a slide mountain climber and also a tuck. So we've got 10 of each, and we're going to be alternating. So for this one, if you would prefer to be on the elbows, you're more than welcome to. You'll just find that your range is a little bit more restrictive and you might need to pull the hips up just a little bit higher. Okay, so what it looks like on the hands, we're going to stack the hands directly underneath the shoulders, and the hands are shoulder width apart. And we're going to come up into your plank position. And now it's just 10 alternating, so pulling one foot in, and this is 1 rep, so 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Re-square them, and then we've just got 10 tucks straight in. 10, keeping the shoulders over the hands the whole time. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we go back into the mountain climbers from here. Now the biggest tip that I have for you is to keep shifting as much weight as you can into the hands. The more weight that you shift into the feet, the more it's going to get into your quads and hip flexors and less in the core. So we want to make sure that we're pushing the floor away from you, whether you're on your forearms or your hands, and then we're pulling the rib cage and the hips towards each other, getting that ab compression as much as we can, and then we want to try and maintain that throughout both of the exercises. Alrighty, so let's do it. Let's say we'll do like 30 seconds on, just alternating between the two. You only need to do 10 of each time. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's do it. 10, and 10 tucks. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Back to it. And 10 tucks. 9. Oh, that was well and truly over 30 seconds, but we got our 2 rounds in. Okay, moving into the next exercise, we're going to grab our short band. And we're going to place the short band around your feet, and we're going to be doing a banded alternating toe touch. So to start this exercise, we're going to bring the legs out in front of you, rolling all the way down through the spine and bringing the arms up to overhead. Now we're reaching the opposite hand to foot, and you can use as much momentum as you need through the upper body. It doesn't matter how high you get with this one, we just want to try and have the chest and the foot moving at the same time. So we pull the hands forward. Let's reach our right hand to our left foot as we draw it in And then we go as slow as you can, rolling down through the spine, controlling the eccentric. Then coming up, swapping sides, up, and then controlling it back down. Nice. Okay, feel free to speed it up a little bit if you can. And let's go for 8, 7, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Now we're going to flip straight over. Going into the next exercise, we have a banded plank tap. So coming either onto your elbows or your hands for this one, we want to make sure that your elbows or hands are about shoulder width apart. Coming up into a full plank, pushing the floor away from us, and we're just going to tap your foot to one side and then bring it back. Now if the band is around the toes or the feet like mine are here, that's probably the hardest position to be pulling from. If you're finding that's a little bit too challenging, you just want to bring the band up to be around the calf muscles here, and then we'll push through, alternating. Your range to be a little bit bigger if you do move the band. Keeping our hips as square as you can towards the floor. And let's go for 10, 9, 6, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Whew. They're pretty effective pretty quickly, aren't they? They definitely get you nice and warm. Alrighty, so the next exercise we're going to be doing, and this is optional if you want to use a hand weight. We've only got 3 more exercises left. So this next one is coming back into our side plank that I mentioned earlier. If you do want to use a weight, you only need a light dumbbell or kettlebell, whatever you've got accessible to you. Now you can either be on your elbow or on your hand. I'm going to take the option on my elbow today. We're going to bring the top hand reaching up towards the ceiling. You could just do this without if you don't have any weights with you. And we're either on our knee, lifting up and up, pulsing the hips up, or we're going to go on the toes, hips are as stacked as you can, rising and lowering. So we want to keep the shoulders down away from your ears. And let's work with 12 reps here. 9, 7, 4, 3, 2, up and hold. Hold it here. And back to our 12 pulses for another. 10, 9, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's drop it down and we'll flip over. Let's go straight into the other side, lifting it up. Back to our pulses. 12 here. We only have 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, up and hold. We have 1 more set of 12. And then we've got the 2 long banded exercises. Let's go. 12, 11, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Dropping it down. Okay. Whew. Last 2 exercises now. Grabbing your long band if you like. These 2 are definitely optional. If you don't have a long band with you, you could repeat a side plank on either side, or you could just hold a front plank and do a couple of intervals there if you want a little quick finisher. All right, so coming into our long resistance band wood chop, we're going to be stepping away from wherever you have the band anchored, and we want to try and keep your hips nice and square to whatever your front is. So you want to be in line with the rig here. And now we're going to start with the arms nice and straight. Your feet are about hip distance apart to anchor yourselves down in towards the floor. And now we're going to be twisting through the upper body, keeping the hips square. Straight arms as we pull all the way up, twisting the shoulders across, and then we control it as it draws back in. Rising back up again, and control. So we want to make sure that you're not hanging out into extension, so keep pulling the rib cage down towards your hips, twisting across, and remember, keep your arms as straight as you can on both sides. Okay, let's go for 10, 9, 5 more, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, flipping over. Let's do that on the other side. Straight into it, straight arms. Let's go. Twist and lower. Let's go for 5 more. Hips are square. 4, 2, and 1. Woo! Good job. Okay, last exercise we've got is a banded tabletop tuck. So for this one, you can move as far away from your anchored point as you like. The further away you move, the more resistance is going to be on your band, meaning the harder your core will work to extend back away and hold a fixed position. But just keep in mind, the band is meant to help you pull the legs up. It should just make it a little bit more challenging as you reach away. So we're going to start with the bands stacked directly above your shoulders here. And we want to have the hands about shoulder width apart. Now we're going to bring your legs up to tabletop position, keeping tension on the band. If it feels comfortable for you here, imprinting through the spine, we're going to pull the band down to be sort of in line with the belly button now. And we're going to lift the hips up, push against the band to tuck up. And then we're going to roll down through the spine, go as slow as you can, back to your tabletop position. So tucking up and then slow rolling down, keeping that core compression for as long as you can. So let's go with 8 of these. Last exercise. 5, 4, 2, and 1. And dropping it back down. So that brings us to the end of our mini ab series number 2. Feel free to repeat this 3 times through if you want to make this a longer workout for today. If you feel like you got enough out of that, I sure did. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.